What's up everybody, welcome to We Do Tech. Now it's time again to take a look at all of the tech news that happened in the past week. There hasn't really been that much that's actually going on, but we're gonna go over all of the stuff that did happen, and we're just gonna talk about it a bit. Just some topics we're going to take a look at today. More and more cryptocurrency exchanges are being hacked. Fake Ryzen 2 news. And then also Battlefield Bad Company 3. So a new Battlefield game. We're going to take a look at all of those and a bit more right after this. Do you live in South Africa and want to get yourself some awesome new gaming products? Well, go check out Rebel Tech. They have extremely low prices and they stock all the major brands like ASUS, MSI, Gigabyte, Corsair and many more. You're also able to get Destiny 2 when purchasing selected Nvidia GTX 1080 or 1080 Ti graphics cards. So check out the link in the video description to go get yourself a new graphics card and a new game. Okay, so just a quick disclaimer, in these videos I do not go over all of the topics in depth, so if there's something new that's coming out, like for instance the Ryzen 2 details and everything, I do not go over in depth into all of that because there's just not enough time. I want to keep these videos as short as possible, but go over some of the stuff. So if you do want to learn more of all of these topics that I mentioned in this video, I do leave links in the video description, so you can go check those out if you just want to learn out a bit more, but not everybody wants to know every topic in depth, so that's why I'm keeping it a bit shorter. But anyway, first topic is Bitcoin hackings. So exchanges has been getting hacked quite frequently now. For instance, Bitfinix, there's been DDoS attack in this past week. Nightshade has been hacked also in like the past 2 weeks, where $56 million has been hacked. So that's, that's a lot of money. We did go over that in a previous video as well. So safety is a big concern now especially with the rise of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything has spiked now, so that's definitely a concern with a lot of people that's actually investing, and especially on an exchange, because that's where you go to sell your Bitcoins and your Ethereum and all of that. So if that gets hacked, you lose all of your money, whether it being your cryptocurrencies or just your normal real world money, and that's a big problem. But people aren't only just stealing people's cryptocurrencies on exchanges or from their wallets, but friends are also stealing from other friends. So in this article, a friend stole $1.8 million in Ethereum from one of his buddies. So this is kind of messed up how it actually happened. Like, he invited his friend to his house, they chat for a bit, they did a meeting in his apartment, and then afterwards he called a taxi service to take his friend home to where he lives. But now, while driving back, there was already somebody waiting in the van that actually robbed him at gunpoint. They wanted to steal his phone, his wallet and his house's keys. But yes, we can understand that you get robbed in a cab or something like that. But what's more interesting is afterwards he went to the police. They got some security footage because his house's keys were stolen. He probably thought they're gonna break in, and to everybody's surprise, the surveillance cameras picked up his friend leaving his apartment with a box that contains his Ethereum wallet. So his friend hired all of the people to actually rob him and then give him the key so he can steal that $1.8 million in Ethereum. Now, this is almost a lesson to everybody. Don't go bragging about how much Ethereum or cryptocurrencies you have. It's just gonna piss people off. Keep it to yourself, and also just do it with everything you have. Don't go tell people of how much money you have and everything. Just keep it to a down low, because otherwise you might be the next victim of something like this. But this is kind of a bit far, especially because they're friends. So yeah. Also, again, more Bitcoin news. In every video we go over a lot of Bitcoin stuff, because that's what's happening at the moment in 2017. That's the big thing. But yeah, cryptojacking is also a thing that's happening now. That's especially happening on more of the pirate sites, so where you can download movies and games, stuff like that illegally, but also on some other websites where you can just do some stuff, like for instance an online video converter. So what cryptojacking actually does is when you go onto the site, there's a script that actually runs in the back end that uses your CPU to mine Monero. So in effect, you're mining for the site's owner and making them a lot of money. For example, almost 1 billion users have been affected by this. And just example as well, OpenLoad and OLED Stream has an estimated monthly earnings of $95,000. Streammango.com has estimated monthly earnings of $7,200. RapidVideo.com estimated monthly earnings of $25,000. And then OnlineVideoConverter.com has an estimated of $200,000 just from using other people's systems to mine Monero for them. So that's a big thing that's going on at the moment. And I know there's been a rumor that Starbucks is doing the same if you go onto their Wi-Fi. So I don't have all of the details about that at the moment. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the video description for that as well. So it's a big deal, this thing. So cryptojacking, if you see your system get really slow when going on a certain website which is not secure, then this is probably what's happening. So just check your temperature, your CPU load, and if it does spike, it can potentially damage your CPU. So just exit that site, because otherwise, yeah, it's not going to be that great for you if something happens. Okay, then next up, also last week, the new Titan V Volta graphics card has been announced by Nvidia, which is a $3,000 graphics card. So it's not for the main consumer. But a YouTuber by the name of Bitfinix did actually get the Titan V and put it through its paces into cryptocurrency mining, just to see actually how it performs. Now, it does have good hash rates and it allows power usage, but for $3,000, I do not think so. So, for example, Ethereum got 77 mega hashes per second, Zcash 877 sols, and Monero 1,417 sols. This is relatively good, but again, for $3,000, you can just rather buy, I don't know, 9 1060s or how many RX 580s. It's not going to be worth it just for this. And again, it isn't a crypto mining card or even a gaming card, although it does perform quite well. It's more for machine learning and all of the scientific stuff that I do not have a clue about, but it does do very well for those. Okay, then next up, for all of you console users out there, especially for the PlayStation users, Sony has just sold over 70.6 million PlayStation 4 units. That sure is a lot, but it's still not close to the PlayStation 2 that actually sold more than 155 million units worldwide. So still the PlayStation 2 that have to beat that. But also what's more interesting is Sony has sold over 617 million PlayStation 4 games. So gaming companies actually make the games, but they have to pay like a royalty license for Sony, and then Sony gets a kickback off of that. And off of 617 million games, that's a lot of money. So I think Sony is very happy with everything that's going on, and especially with their new PlayStation 4 Pro and everything, it's going pretty well for them, I think. Okay, then next up, some news from Apple. So they just opened up pre-orders for their new iMac Pros, which is those monitors slash systems all-in-ones, which it does look really, really nice. It's a bit on the pricey side, but the iMac Pro does have some nice specs. You do get the base model, and then you can upgrade some additional aspects like the CPUs and the GPU and such. And then it just increases in prices as well. But at the base model, you do get a 5K 27-inch display, an 8-core Xeon, which you can upgrade to a 10-core, 14-core, or a 18-core. The base GPU is a Vega 56, which you can upgrade to a Vega 64 if you wanted to. You also get 32 gigs of RAM at the base, and then upgrade that to 64 or 128. And then you get a 1 terabyte SSD, which you can upgrade to 2 terabytes or a 4 terabyte. And then just something that I personally really like, it's not that big of a deal, but it does have a 10 gigabit Ethernet port. I don't know why, but I kind of like that. But also the base model, it is pricey. It's going for $4,999, so $5,000 for the base model. And then if you want to upgrade that, it's probably going to cost you 4 times if you just want the 18-core Xeon. Even more if you want to go for the 128 gigs of RAM as well, because RAM at the moment is really, really expensive. But if you want this, you can pre-order it now. There has been some reviewers that actually already got them as reviewing samples. I know MKBHD did a video on that, and it looks really nice. It's really powerful again, but it's a bit too pricey personally for me. That's always the problem with Apple. It's really nice designs, and they do work very well, but just a bit too pricey for what you can do with them, honestly. And then some more news from Apple. Apple is currently looking into buying Shazam, which is a song recognition software that you can just download on your phone. If you listen to a song, you can use the app. It picks up the song and then it'll tell you from which artist and what's the name of the song as well. So they're looking into buying this for $400 million. So that's quite a lot of money for just an app that actually recognizes a song. But it's going to work perfectly for iTunes. Now you'll be able to recognize the song, play a song, buy the song, and yeah, that's how it goes. Just buy the stuff as quick as possible. And then next up, the Battlefield Bad Company 3 rumor. Now, this is again just rumors, so take it with a grain of salt, but the rumor is that it is coming out in late 2018. It's gonna be a post Vietnam and Cold War era with the weapons, and it's gonna have more customization for the weapons than in Battlefield 1. All of this is from a YouTuber that did also speculate on Battlefield 1, and he got a lot of the stuff right, so it could be an insider that he just links some of the information for everybody to be hyped up. Just some more information he talks about is playable classes. You can play as support, engineer, assault, and recon. It's going to have vehicles like LAVs, tanks, and helicopters will also be featured. And then it's also not going to have loot boxes, so it's not going to have the entire, it's probably going to have microtransactions, but not in the standard loot box systems, so which is really nice. They'll probably do something else. You can buy the skins instead of actually getting loot boxes, which is gambling now, so they're just gonna try to implement it in a different way. But if you guys want to watch the video where he actually talks about everything, I will leave a link in the video description for you to go and check out. And also that's rumored to be announced at E3, of course, which is the big gaming convention. So just look into when actually E3 is going on. Okay, then the next topic, which I was kind of surprised to read. I didn't really know that the US did not have Huawei smartphones. There's a lot of different ways to pronounce the name. Personally, that's how I pronounce it, so don't roast me on how it's properly pronounced. I don't care. But for instance, here in South Africa, Huawei's are probably the 3rd biggest phones, almost the 2nd, probably bigger than Apple because they're cheaper. But they are not sold in the US, which again, I was pretty amazed because they are the world's 3rd largest cell phone manufacturer, and they even took past Apple a while back as well. I'm not sure about now. So they're really, really close to Apple's phone selling territory. So they're really a big deal. But now Verizon and AT&T are looking to actually get Huawei smartphones into the country. They're partnering up with Huawei and seeing if they can actually get them to the US to actually sell Huawei smartphones there. Now, if you guys are from the US or you don't know what Huawei phones are, they're basically cheaper Samsung phones almost. They're really good quality. A lot of my friends have them and they perform really, really well. And I personally, if I did not have my Note, I'll probably have one as well, but just because they're such good phones for the price. And I can especially think in the US it's going to be very, very cheap because all of the phones there are cheap, so pure phones are hell expensive. But yeah, they are looking into actually bringing Huawei into the US, which will be a very, very big deal, and will probably take past Apple at the 2nd spot. and possibly come near to Samsung, although I think Samsung is a bit higher up. But they're gonna get there. They have been skyrocketing with these last few years, so, and they make really good phones, just to clarify again. But the announcement will possibly be announced at CES 2018, so we'll just have to wait and actually see if everything goes through. But I think it will be a good move if they actually can get into the US, because they do make nice smartphones. Okay, and then now we get into the AMD Ryzen 2 fake news. Now, a while back there has been a slideshow showing that the new Ryzen 2800X will have a 12-core CPU running at 5.1 gigahertz. It's coming out on the 1st of February, but that was fake. All of that was fake. It's not gonna be a 12-core CPU running at 5.1 gigahertz. But all of that was fake, but it did really send the internet into a frenzy, because the 12-core running at 5.1 gigahertz is pretty amazing. But now AMD did come out to actually announce when the Ryzen 2 CPUs will come out, which will be March 2018. So not really that further off than February. It will be launched on a 12nm process. It will support higher clock speeds and a higher memory clock. And then after its launch, it's also going to be followed by Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 3 in March. So the cheaper versions, the lower end versions of the Ryzen CPUs. The 12nm process will also deliver a higher clock speed and reduce the power consumption, hopefully quite a bit. And then also we predict it's going to be somewhere between 4.2 to 4.4 gigahertz at overclocked, but we'll just have to wait and see for the high end ones like the Ryzen 7s. And then after all of that, then Pinnacle Ridge will also be expecting to come out in April. And then the second generation of the Ryzen Pro parts will also come out in approximately May, because usually they keep it out a month after each other, which they did with the normal Ryzen 1, Ryzen 7, whatever. And all of this is just going to be that bit before the new 9th generation CPUs from Intel, because the 8th generation wasn't that long back. Now they want to do another one. It's just way too quick in my personal opinion. And again, the 9th generation, it's going to be for consumer grades, because we've already got leaks of i5s and i3s, so it's not really going to be that further off. It's going to come out pretty soon in June-ish next year, but we are expected to see an 8-core mainstream CPU, which will be pretty cool to see if they can do a nice i7 with 8 cores running at a higher clock speed as well. So we'll just have to wait when more rumors comes out. But again, all of this, just take it with a grain of salt. Rumors are rumors, it's not facts. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, comment. Again, there hasn't really been a lot of stuff that's that happened in the past week. Hopefully there'll be a bit more happening in the week to follow. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, thanks for watching, guys. If you do have some nice articles, you can link it in the video description, or you can tweet it at me. Well, my Twitter is linked in the video description as well. And then, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.